everyone. Welcome to the Friday Night Lights game. Millbrook football versus Forman on this chilly October night in Millbrook, New York. I'm Charlie Kay, joined by Adam Beck and JD Whiting. Adam Beck, what do you have today on this matchup?
Wow, this is going to be a very exciting game here. Millbrook coming in this game 2-1, coming off a little bit of a tough loss last game out against Holderness, losing 38-18, but they are ready to play here. These are some guys that you should really watch out for in today's game. Matt Sardo, number 2, he's going to be an absolute weapon for them all over the field, but a guy that I think is going to have a really big impact for them today, Nolan Cadu. He's the heart of this Millbrook defense, plays linebacker, but he's also going to get the start at running back tonight with starting running back Jalen Thatcher out for the season due to injury. So watch for Nolan Cadu to be a name that pops off a lot here tonight. So we're moments away from kickoff. Millbrook will be kicking off to Forman. Here we go as we're just set to get underway.
Someone else notable for Forman is their quarterback, Luke DeRico, number 10. Be on the watch for him as well tonight.
Making sure everyone's settled in here. Millbrook started off the season with wins against Harvey School and Hebron. They ended up having to travel about 7 hours to Hebron, but they came back with a 38-8 win. As I said, they did lose to Holderness last game out, but they've tried to refocus, try to reset, and they're ready to fight here against a Forman school that has started off the season pretty rough. I mean, they started off with 2 straight losses against Frederick Gunn and Pomfret. Pomfret, who's notoriously pretty good. And here we go. Here's the kickoff.
Tom Kreutzer set to take the kick here to open the game. Oh, and they go for the onside kick right away, which will be recovered by Forman.
What a ballsy play to start the game open. I mean, that is called having confidence. Obviously, it doesn't work out there, but I love that mentality from Coach Botchway. He wants his team to be opportunistic. That's something he really stresses, especially defensively. Being opportunistic, I love that right from the get-go. Just attacking the game and trying to get something to happen.
This Forman offense set up under the gun for the first play of this game.
Looks like they got a little bit of a heavy set in here. Fullback, look for a run here, probably to the strong side to the right maybe. Looked like the ball got fumbled. Really smart play by the running back to just dive on top of that, not get a fumble and go the other way. But that's part of that Millbrook defense there. You're going to see Rocco Boland and Nolan Cadu, really those 2 big-time linebackers for them that are really going to be trying to fly across the field, really be impact players for them defensively. And then you've also got to definitely take a look at none other than Jason Weiss, who might have been dealing with some injury, but looks like he is in there tonight.
It'll be about 2nd and 15. They'll go for the toss outside, and they'll get stopped there, maybe a yard or 2 gain. And
that's a really good job by the linebacker there, just trying to get to the edge as quickly as possible. Beat the tackle to the edge, was able to get there and cut off the angle. Really well done by the Millbrook defense.
This is this hard-pressing defense we talked about.
Absolutely. They want to go out, fight. They want to bring intensity, and that's exactly what they're going to do. I mean, as I said, if you look at some of their defensive philosophy, something that Coach Botchway really presses on them, they like to use multiple fronts. They like to give the defense different looks. And that's what they're going to do tonight. They're going to have different coverages, have different blitzes, have different schemes, really try and confuse this defense here.
Looks like we've got about 1 wide receiver out wide and maybe a tight end. DeRico under center. He'll make a pass. And Forman will be stopped there for about a gain of 3, and they'll go 3 and out on this first drive.
Absolutely love that. Keeping everything in front of them, especially on a 3rd and long play, you want Millbrook to really make sure that everything is in front of them. That was just a little bit of an underneath route to the tight end. Good job by the linebacker finding that, cutting it down, and holding them to what looked to be a 3 and out, but it looks like they're going to be going for it here.
You know, and seeing Keller Ryan in person, he is huge. That's going to be a factor on the Millbrook defense tonight.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see what they try and run here on 4th and 7-ish. Looks to be snap under center.
DeRico falls back in the pocket. Lots of pressure. He'll make the pass. And a good tackle there. Millbrook will stop the 4th down try.
And that's fundamental football right there, not letting the play get out behind you. Really going, making sure you're clean through the tackle, getting the tackle, and getting off the field. Now for the Millbrook offense, it's going to be all about Mac Elliott, their quarterback. He is a guy, sure, he's got a solid arm, but you really look for him to utilize his legs. 2 games ago against, I believe, Hebron, he had over 100 yards on the ground. Might have actually been the first game. But he likes to use those legs, so look for him to really extend plays with those legs.
And you're right, Jason Weiss is in there at center, number 24. Just a menace on the offensive line.
Absolutely. This Millbrook offensive line has been really been talked about a lot this
Snap.
season.
They'll go for the play action. Throwing downfield. Oh, looking for Matthew Sardo. Long ball.
Yeah, a little bit too much power on that one. Sardo had to lay out there. Couldn't quite corral that. But I love that aggressiveness from the get-go. Millbrook offensively, they want to play fast. They really want to play with tempo. They want to play with speed. That's a great job out of the gate. Really, trying to extend the field and make the safeties really have to think about the boundary there.
Well, and something else to note, he was wide open, no coverage there.
Absolutely. I mean, he's also really fast. He's going to be a guy we're going to be talking about a lot tonight because he is quick. He's a great route runner, but he's really just an athlete. He's going to get out there and run and make some plays tonight.
They go for the snap. Play action again. They'll find Sardo up the left side. He will get out of bounds for about a 6-yard gain or so.
And I think he got a little bit closer to the first down than that. I thought from here he had it, but he didn't. But just look at that. Look at that explosiveness there by Sardo. It's a little screened pass, nothing really big, and makes a move, pops off for an 8-yard gain. It's gonna be third down here,
and about 1 or 2, just a couple.
It'll be interesting to see if Nolan Cadu gets a touch here, just trying to run this up the middle, and try and pick up those gritty yards.
Yeah, they do have Cadu under center lined up next to Mac Elliott.
And as I was referencing a little bit earlier, this Millbrook offensive line has been talked a lot about this season to start the year. Obviously, they got Gabe Gerson there, I believe number 25. They've got
Freddie Hamilton, number 12, the tight end.
The tight end, too. They've got Johnny Rigolino, number 30. Oh, they're going to
measure this one out.
Measure this one out. We'll see what the call is here.
Well, and you're right. This offensive line is a veteran offensive line. They've been with this team a long time.
Absolutely, and even through a coaching change, which we'll get to in a sec. Botchway's first year. It's going to be a first down. Really big move there by Sardo. Picked up those yards. So
that'll be a 10-yard gain for him on the throw from Mac Elliott. That's a good start for the Millbrook offense.
Absolutely. It's all about tempo. It's all about rhythm. Getting those first few plays to really make sure that you're comfortable in the game. I still want to see Nolan Cadu here get a little bit of a handoff. It'll be interesting to see how aggressive Millbrook is throwing the passing with the passing game because they really want to throw in the football a lot.
And there's Elliott on his feet. Will get through, break a couple tackles, and he's going for the house, and he'll come up short about the 5-yard line.
And look at Matt Sardo there, too, with an awesome block, just getting out in front of the play and making sure that he could make sure that Mac Elliott had space to run him behind. That was that read option play, seeing what the defense was giving him. Mac Elliott had the option to give it off to Cadu, thought he had a lane and was able to take off with it.
And Matt Sardo really an all-around player, not just a pass rush, not just a running back, not just a wide receiver, but he can block too.
Absolutely. And here
they'll go for the run into the end zone, and coming up just short.
Just short there.
Again,
Elliott, once again,
on his feet.
I'm telling you, he's going to be using those feet a lot tonight. That's really what Millbrook wants him to go out and do.
From the right hash now, Sardo lined up out wide. Cadu under center next to Elliott, who will find a hole, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. That's a Millbrook touchdown.
That is a Millbrook touchdown, and that's just great blocking. Making sure that you get the hole to run to the right. Love Sardo lined up out on the left, trying to get some of that defense away from him. It's a really good run design, and a really good touchdown to start the game off. Millbrook crowd is absolutely jacked up right now. But no, that offense, that offensive sequence was really good for them. Looks like they're going to be going for 2 here.
And something pretty typical in 8-man football, especially at the high school level here. 2-point conversion.
Absolutely, especially with the lack of really great kickers. Kicking the football is not as easy as it seems. You'll watch the NFL, and it looks like they should make it every time.
They'll kick it out wide, and in there for the 2 points. Millbrook up 8-0.
And that's a great little crossing route there by Ashton Colangelo. Just coming off across the formation, started out wide, finished through the middle, and all Mac Elliott had to do was roll out to his left, and he's right there in the middle of the defense. That's called picking apart the defense.
So how about we talk some 8-man football? This might not be something everybody's familiar with. What are the difference between 11-man and 8-man?
It's very, very similar in the types of formations and the strategy. That's where it really changes. Everything else is the same. The rules are the same. The strategy is more or less the same. Some of the formations are a little bit weird. You have 3 guys on the line instead of 5, and then you've got the tight end. But really what it allows for is it allows for some bigger plays, a little bit more offense, and a little bit more fun, to be honest. I mean, the rules are going to be pretty much the same, as I said. Just fewer players on the field, more space, more open area. The field actually is a little smaller. It's only 80 yards 80 yards long.
And Kuchar will kick it long this time. Perfect kick, just about the 2. Forman will opt for the run. They get a couple yards. They're going to be out to about the 32-yard line. Great return by Forman.
Absolutely, and that was a good return by Forman. Good blocking. Went to the outside there. That's how you do it. But
pretty textbook.
Going back to 8-man football for a sec, I mean, it's a little bit of a smaller boundaries. The width of the field's a little bit smaller, but the game's just a little bit more accessible for newer players, and it's a little bit more fun, a little bit more offense, and a little bit more craziness.
Absolutely. So hopefully we'll see some big plays tonight.
Absolutely, and I think we already saw a few with those Mac Elliott runs.
Just one safety back deep for Millbrook. Looks like they're going to go for the zone coverage here. Luke DeRico opting to throw. That ball goes incomplete, so it'll be 2nd and 10.
And something that I've really noticed about this Millbrook defense is they are quick. They're a lot faster than they look, especially at those defensive end positions. They are getting around those tackles really quickly. Number 76, that right tackle for Forman, is having a really tough job keeping up with just the speed that Millbrook is getting to the quarterback with.
David Coffin's got to be strong on that outside edge.
Absolutely, he's got to be able to set that edge that he's just not really doing for them.
Well, and something else you talked about, you got 3 in the line on 8-man. You can't make a mistake as an offensive lineman, otherwise that pass rush is coming.
Absolutely, there's no one going to help you. And that's why you'll see tight ends a lot on that strong side. For us, it's that near side here.
Keller Ryan out there on that. They'll run the ball maybe for a couple yards.
And that's another thing I love about that Millbrook defense. You just saw them there. You saw 4 or 5 guys on the football. They want to attack this football. And as I said, Nolan Cadu, number 14, and Rocco Boland, number 3. Those 2 really athletic linebackers. Cadu is a little bit more of a physical, just gets in your face guy. Rocco, I think, has got a little bit more speed to his game. But combined, I really like what they have. I really like what they have in the heart of this defense. And then you got Matt Sarter ranging at safety, arguably the fastest player on this field. It's a scary defense. They're going to keep everything in front of you. They're going to get after the football, and that's what they've been doing so far.
Forman looking like they're setting up for a run here. DeRico calling the audible, maybe. It's 3rd and about 5 here for
Millbrook
Forman.
showing blitz, and they're going to blitz. They're going to bring the pressure.
Here comes the run up through the middle, and it looks like he will get there for the first down. Forman getting up to the line. The football does pop out, but it's blown dead.
I'm pretty sure he was down. No, but Millbrook, as I talked about pretty earlier, they want to bring the blitzes. They want to bring the different little moves and the different little formations defensively to try and create some confusion. That time they were like, hey, we're going to blitz everybody. We're going to keep Sardo back. We're going to keep our corners back. And sure, they were able to run it for a few yards, pick up the first down. But I like that opportunistic IDs.
Trey Carbone now with the run again. He'll go to the outside. He'll pick up there, maybe about 9, just shy of the first down.
Yeah, and those are 2 back-to-back runs for that Forman offense. Those are really big, momentum builders for them. I mean, when you start to run the football and you ground and pound a few times, and you get those yards, that's really big. That's really big for an offense. It's a big thing for confidence. And you see back-to-back plays where they pretty much pick up first downs. Here it's going to be 2nd and maybe 2, maybe 2nd and 1, second and short. This is where I'd like to see them maybe take a big play. They're lined up like they're going to run the football here, though, with the fullback in the backfield.
Yep. And they'll hand it off once again, chugging through for the first down as they set up the pile.
And I like that philosophy, too. Not trying to take the shot on 2nd down, which, is conventionally what you do. If you're 2nd and short, you're 2nd and 1, 2, or 3. Typically, that's something where you're gonna take a deep shot because you can pick up the first down pretty easily. But there, I really like them going with the fullback, just grounding straight ahead and picking up that first down.
Yeah, and something Trey German's done very well in these last few plays is finding the hole.
Absolutely, but I think that's part of what this Forman offensive line is able to do. They're, as we saw, as soon as they go into a passing type of play, we see that speed of that Millbrook defense. But I'm pretty sure that Forman offensive line, they want to push ahead. They want to use their bodies to really push rather than try and collapse. You see that they're getting some solid push.
And DeRico going to the outside, he'll pick up maybe one or two there.
And that's a fantastic play by Colangelo, just setting the edge, forcing the quarterback outside, and making sure he couldn't turn the corner.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that right edge a lot. Henry White struggled on that play to set the edge.
Absolutely. But I think that was just Colangelo's speed there getting to the outside. But I mean, this Millbrook secondary is fast. Like, they're really, really quick. I really like, as I've been mentioning Sardo a little bit, but I also really like Colangelo. He's got some speed and athleticism to his game. But more importantly, for this Millbrook team, they're
and the run up the middle for Zubril, and he'll get to the first down before he's taken down at about the 16 or 17 yard line.
And Millbrook's having a tough time right now, stopping the run. We've seen this on 3 or 4 plays in a row now, where it's been a run right up the middle, maybe to the left side too, and they're just trying to push ahead. Watching in warm-ups, I wasn't super confident in the Forman quarterback. He was missing some throws. He was making some throws, but I wasn't overly confident in his abilities right now. But their run game is really strong. They want to run the football. They want to run the ball, control the time of possession, control the clock, and really try and tire out this Millbrook defense.
Looks like they're going to go for the run again. They've got 2 running backs under center with the fullback in the backfield.
They like that heavy set a lot.
They'll hand it off, and getting through the hole for about 7 or 8 yards. Trey Carbone, he's just powering through that.
And these 7 or 8 yards continuously is tiring for a defense. I mean, if you're trying to get after the quarterback, they want to get after the quarterback, they want to get on the football, but running plays are like they're not the most fun for a defense. And they've got to grind away here. It's red zone time now. This is where Forman needs to get points. This is a team that struggled with points all season, so they need to be really opportunistic in the points they get. If they can run the ball in here, that would be absolutely massive for them.
So it's second and about 3, looking for a short gain, and Millbrook gets a good stop there right on the offensive line. So
and that was really, really good push there by, I want to say that was Jason Weiss there. Really just setting at the point of attack at the nose tackle position.
Absolutely right.
Johnny Riggolino was in there
Weiss
too. Really like what those two are able to do, not just on the defensive line, but also on the offensive line.
Well, I think Johnny Riggolino is someone who doesn't get highlighted a lot. He's a defensive tackle, junior from Pine Plains, New York, and he's been putting the work in. He's really a startup football player. Absolutely,
and he's been putting the work not just on the field, but also in the gym. I've seen him try and get bigger too, and he's playing really well this season. I think he's really progressed as a football player.
And it will now be 4th down after a short gain of about maybe 1 or so for the Forman offense.
And it looks like they're going to choose to keep that offense out there. They want to get points. As I said, they're a team that struggled with points all year. So they're going once again with the heavy set, keeping the tight end there for blocking, having the fullback in there.
Yeah, Zerbo is that huge running back right behind.
I would look for a run up the middle here.
And they'll hand it off to Trey Carbone, who goes to the outside, and he will be just short of the first down.
That's called risking it there, and he didn't get there. It was simply that simple. Really good job by the Millbrook defense to get straight ahead at the point of attack. Thought they did a really good job. Those defensive tackles, Jason Weiss, Johnny Riggolino, once again, really setting that front presence
and collapsing down
and that forced the running back out wide, and then you've got your faster linebackers who can make that tackle and get to the outside. So we've got the offense out there.
Millbrook offense will take over. They'll get the ball right about the 10-yard line.
Last time out, we saw them focus on Matt Sardo in the passing game. He had a catch on 2 targets, but we really saw that running game from the quarterback, which is so hard to defend in 8-man football. Millbrook has had a history with running quarterbacks, mobile quarterbacks.
Short throw to Sardo on the outside. He's looking for a move, trying to get a couple blocks. He'll get past, finding the outside. Huge hole, keeps going all the way down. Take it to the house, Matt Sardo, touchdown.
What a play by Matt Sardo. That was all Matt Sardo. That was a great job by the Forman defense originally to close that screen pass up, but Sardo simply faster, stronger, quicker, more athletic, getting to the outside. That is absolutely massive for Millbrook. That is the kinds of plays that they need. One play, a touchdown, absolutely massive. Cutting
Matt
it back.
Soto, 70 yards to the house.
70 yards to the house. Fantastic play, and hey, that's going to be the easiest touchdown completion of Mac Elliott's career.
I mean, just going from one side, from the right to the left, and all the way down for a touchdown. What a great play.
Yeah, I really like that one a lot. Not gonna lie. Coach Botchway looks excited too, as this Millbrook fan presence is loud, rowdy, and happy, and very excited. It's gonna be a false start here, looks like. It's gonna be a false start on the offense to push them back a few yards.
Going for 2 again, though.
Looks like they're gonna go for 2 here. They're gonna put Mac Elliott in there. And as I was saying a little bit earlier before Matt Sardo had that massive play, Millbrook has had a pretty good history with mobile quarterbacks. I mean, 2 years ago, Matt Amato was their quarterback, and he ended up playing, I think he plays college lacrosse now. Super athletic kid, freak athlete, and he was their quarterback and ran all over the field. Was a really productive player for them in that regard. So Millbrook, especially in 8-man football where there's just simply more space, and with less, especially, presence at the front of the defensive line to tackle you, I mean, you can really get to the outside. So really like what this Millbrook offense is doing here, really utilizing the quarterback runs. But on that drive, hey, screen pass, touchdown from 71 yards out. I think Millbrook will take that every day.
Absolutely. We got a quick stoppage in play. How about we talk about the new coaching?
Absolutely.
Mr. Prince Botchway coming to us from Episcopal High School.
Yeah, really interesting too. I mean, he's a guy that wants to, he says a lot, he wants to lead with love. He wants his team to lead with love. Really trying to not just create a great football team, but a great group of humans. And that's something that's good for Millbrook, especially after Coach Rogers, who is now the head coach at Episcopal, where Coach Botchway formerly coached. That's something that he really emphasized too. So it's really good to see that continuity in that organizational almost emphasis and what they want to do on the field and what they want to have in this program.
Colangelo and Crystal lined up on the outside. Elliott will take the snap under center, and he goes to the left looking for Hamilton off the tight end pass.
And there's
2 points.
There's the senior Freddie Hamilton, the tight end out of Denver, Colorado, catching the 2-point conversion. I'm sure that he'll be very happy about that one later.
Pretty standard tight end play right there.
Yeah, I mean, he's lined up, and he simply just gets out wide and picks up the 2 points.
So now 16-0, Millbrook over Forman with just a little over 2 minutes left in the first quarter.
It'll be interesting to see if Millbrook opts with the onside kick again. I don't know if they'll do that again after that didn't work last time.
Yeah,
a little bit of a ballsy play to start the game out. But hey, they're up 16-0. It's still the first quarter. They're loving life.
Absolutely. Millbrook now lined up. Kreutzer calling for ready, and he will take the kick. It will be back about to the 5-0. It's dropped. It is dropped, and Forman does recover the football, and they will start their drive just about the 10-yard line.
And from a fundamental football, perspective there, I don't love that play. One, you've got the muff, which is never ideal. But as soon as the ball hits the ground after you fumbled it, you got to dive on the football. Anything can happen. You miss the ball. Now Millbrook has another touchdown, and you're down 22-0.
Absolutely.
For me, they got away with that one. Forman, they were able to get back the ball, run it up a few yards. But for me, if you're Forman there, if you're the coach, you want him to just dive on the football there.
Absolutely agree. Can't be having mistakes, especially on your own 5-yard line.
Absolutely, and this is going to be interesting to see how Forman wants to play here. Obviously, they're down 16-0. They're going to need to throw the ball at some point, but they've really stuck with the run, and they've had some success with the run in this game so far. You got to remember, that running back has done a lot of the damage for them. As
DeRico rolling out to the right, and he'll fake the throw, go to his feet, and get out of bounds.
I thought he was going to pull
just 5.
I thought he was going to pull a Phillip Rivers there, where you get past the line of scrimmage and then you throw it. Phillip Rivers did that a few times in his career. Once against the Miami Dolphins, I remember that very distinctively. But overall, that was just something that he used to do. So I thought when I saw him pump fake, I was like, oh gosh, there's the flag. But he was able to keep running, pick up a few more yards, and get pushed out of bounds.
Once again, 2 running backs lined up for this Forman offense. Millbrook showing blitz on defense. They'll come with heavy pressure, and they'll go to the run. Forman will go to the run. Trey Carbone with a gain of just a couple yards. So this Forman offense, they're going back to the run game. It works. It makes sense.
Yeah, that's something that they've really had a lot of success with so far in this game, and it's something that they've been able to do pretty well. They're running the football effectively behind that tight end and that right side as well as the left side. Haven't had too much success right at the middle. That's where more of those bigger players are for Millbrook. But if they can get to the ball to the outside, that's really what they want to be doing here.
And Zublis will squirt through, and they will go to 4th down. He didn't quite get to the first, so it'll be 4th and about 1 for this Forman offense.
And it looks like they're going to keep the offense out there? Yeah, they're going to keep the offense out there.
They're going to go for it.
Yeah, they're going to keep the offense. That's another ballsy play, but I'd expect to see a run here probably with a fullback. Personally, they've gone to that a few times in today's game. If they have the fullback line in the backfield.
First quarter about to expire. So after 1 quarter, Millbrook up 16-0.
I think Millbrook's exactly where they want to be. They're doing exactly what they want. I think that offensively, they've played really well, but more defensively too. I thought that they've done a really good job keeping everything in front of them. Coach Maliolo, the defensive line coach, will be very, very happy with how his team has rushed the passer. He will not be so happy with how his team has stopped the run, though. But overall, through 12 minutes, this Millbrook team has done a very good job as we're just moments away from the second quarter.
J.D. Whiting, what are you seeing after that first quarter?
It's a good leeway into the second quarter. 16-0, 0. So, love to see that. The 2-point conversions are big as our running and game is much better than our kicking game. So, it's good to see we're capitalizing on those opportunities.
Well, and how about this Millbrook fan section? I mean, you're right down there near them. This is just a rowdy crowd, right?
Yeah, no, they're covering almost half the hill. It's kind of impressive. But love to see everyone coming out, supporting the team under the lights. So let's just hope the team keeps us interested and keeps us happy.
Thank you. And Adam, why don't we talk a little bit of coaching? So as you mentioned, Prince Botchway, head coach for Millbrook. Coach Maliolo is the defensive line coach. Mr. Livesey, Jeffrey Livesey, out as the wide receiver coach.
As well as the cornerbacks coach. He also is their pass game coordinator. Coach Lacoste, he really headlines the running backs and the linebackers, as well as the run game coordinating for them. But Coach Botchway is going to be that offensive mentality, and he's going to really bring that as great job by honestly the entire Millbrook defense. They're getting into the backfield and just making sure to cause chaos. But I really like the effort by that defensive line.
Zublis not quite getting to the first down, so Millbrook will take over in almost red zone territory, not quite, but deep in Forman territory.
Oh yeah, and
we're seeing a mass migration to the fan section below us.
So yeah, we've got the Millbrook offense back out there. As I said, they like running the football with the quarterback. We haven't seen Nolan Cadu really touch the football at all as the running back, but I'd expect something here where it's a little bit of a drop back.
They'll go for play action. Elliott rolling right and completes the pass to Hamilton, who will get down near about the 2-yard line.
And Millbrook's doing a really good job moving one way to the other, laterally across the defense, using their speed to get across the defense, running away from defenders, and really allowing that to help them pick up yards. We've seen that on a few plays for them. Last time for the 2-point conversion, where they were able to get Freddie Hamilton across the field. On this play here, it was Freddie Hamilton across the field, as it's going to be a touchdown as Mac Elliott goes untouched. Wow, he is having a fantastic game running the football. Doing a really, really good job. He's got 2 rushing touchdowns already on the day. And, they're going to keep the offense out there for the 2-point conversion. as they are trying to rack up the points.
Well, and I think something that you just touched on, but I'd like to go further into is mobile quarterback does not just mean running the football. It also means rolling and throwing and scramble.
Absolutely, and that's what he did there earlier on that play to Freddie Hamilton to set up the touchdown, getting within the 5. Freddie Hamilton have a really nice game as that real number 2 option behind Matt Sardo right now in this offense.
And it looks like Millbrook will get the delay of game. So they'll get moved back 5 yards.
Yeah, they will. But they're still going to go for 2 here. Yeah, but they're going to keep the offense out there. Coach Boschway giving Matt Elliott the play call.
He likes to go with a lot of audibles.
Yes, he does. But more importantly, he likes to give Matt Elliott some options, too. He doesn't just want to be like, okay, this is going to be a quarterback run. He wants to give him, a run option or a pass option play, see what the defense is giving him and see where the holes are. On this play,
one running back under center and Sardo out on the side. Going for the throw, they'll find
Ethan Kessler.
Kessler for the 2 points.
Did a really good job just getting out of the flat, just finding himself open, and catching the ball. Running away from the defense. I mean, it's as simple as get. I mean, but this is just good coaching here from Coach Boschway, putting his players in the right place to succeed, making them get out on the flat. But hey, right now, if I had a Millbrook fantasy team right now, I'd be taking Mac Elliott.
Mac Elliott has been hot in this game right out of the gate. He's not wasting any time.
Absolutely, he has been very good. As we're going to see another kickoff here from Millbrook. Seems like every 3 or 4 minutes is going to be another kickoff for them.
Tom Kreutzer getting a lot of action, which is a great thing if you're a Millbrook football fan here. Tom is a good story too for this Millbrook football team. He's been with here his 3rd year on this team. Just like Johnny Rigolino, putting in a lot of work in the gym, on and off the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Another player that's put in a lot of work, has seen a lot of improvement. Came to Millbrook as that kicker.
Another great kick and another muffed return. Forman will take that ball outside and tackle down about the 20-yard line or so.
So we see another mass migration of humans back towards the left side.
All 3 of Mr. Kreutzer's previous kicks have been right inside the 5-yard line.
It gives that kick return a little bit of a heads-up play. Do they let it go for a touchback, or do they come out and grab it? And normally you do come out and grab it. But once again, really good job by this Millbrook defense and their special teams. This is something that the coaches really emphasize. Having players that want to play football, having players that are excited and high-energy guys on that special teams unit.
So we're going to see Mac Elliott's lined up on the line as Zubris will take it for a gain of about 6.
And he has seen a lot of action tonight too. The fullback and the running back for them, they have been around the football a lot in today's game. And we really haven't seen Forman too confident throwing the football at all. And it's mostly runs. And sure, at the high school level, you're going to mostly see a 40, 35 to 65-ish range between passing and running the ball, where in the pros, it's completely the opposite. The quarterbacks are not as good, wide receivers, the talent level on the field isn't as good, clearly. They're not playing professional football.
Yeah, we'll see Trey Carbone lined up.
There's a lot more running
in the backfield once again. So look for Luke DeRico to hand this one off. Millbrook playing that zone coverage defense, as they will get the run to Trey Carbone, coming up just a yard short of the first down. So it'll be 3rd and about 1.
And look who was right around that football once again. No one could do. He's, as I said, one of those leaders of this Millbrook defense. He's probably the heart and soul of this defense, a guy who really wants to get around. But on that play before, I wanted to point out Mac Elliott lined up right at the line of scrimmage as the safety position. Right, he's traditionally a safety, a guy who plays in the secondary, wanting to bring the blitz, bring an outside guy. So talked about that a little bit in the open, where Millbrook wants to use a variety of different looks to start this game defensively, and that was just one of those situations where they have a safety lined up. And a team that did a lot that last year in the NFL was, I guess, the Pittsburgh Steelers, similarly losing their secondary guys to rush the passer. I mean, Mike.
And pass rush comes, DeRico, that's intercepted.
There we go.
Millbrook will go the other way. Ethan Kessler, pick 6.
Wow, look at that. And that's simply just a bad throw, and Kessler being there at the right time, right spot, reading the defense, picking it off, making the catch. And hey, last 2 times Millbrook has scored, we've seen Ethan Kessler in that end zone.
Cornerback, wide receiver, he does it all. And a great interception for pick 6. Looks like they will go for 2. Something interesting to note is that on that last play, 7 out of the 8 guys on the field also play offense for this Millbrook team.
Yeah, they've got some very, very talented football players that have to be on the field 24/7. But with a lead this big, I would not be surprised to see if Boschway wants to get some other guys involved.
Absolutely. So Jason Weiss will take the snap after playing linebacker on the last play. With Cadu lined up next to Elliott. Snap, handoff to Cadu into the end zone for 2 points.
And there's that powerful running, not as powerful as Jalen Thatcher, who sadly is out for the season with an injury,
wrist injury. Yeah,
wrist injury. But at the end of the day, Nolan Cadu can run pretty hard. He's a big body. He can really get downhill fast. Sure, he's not that pure power back with a little bit of speed like Jalen Thatcher, but a little bit different type of back, but he can still get the job done. And love to see that there. Millbrook's just simply piling up the points right now, and this crowd is loving it.
Absolutely. This is the exact thing you want to see if you're a Millbrook fan.
Yeah, seemingly every time Millbrook touches the ball, both offensively and defensively, they're scoring. They've done it through the air, they've done it through the ground. It's really been a full total performance here through the first 14 minutes.
Spencer Bartone lined up to take this kick from Tom Kreutzer coming in, and a little bit of a shorter kick. Bartone will not muff it, and he'll get some yards on the ground as he gets up to about the 30, and he's finally taken down, but forward progress will start him about the 29.
Yeah, good return. Not pretty simple, good blocking towards the left side, found a hole, and got a few extra yards. A little bit of a missed tackling there by Millbrook, but overall not too bad.
So Forman will start their offensive drive at about the 29-yard line.
And I would look to see maybe they throw the football a little bit more on this drive. Sure, they've got the fullback in.
They've got 2 guys in the backfield, so I don't know if we're going to see a throw here, but...
Yeah, but I think that they're going to have to sooner or later.
Flag coming out.
On the field.
And a pretty decent run there for about 8 by Zubris. We'll see what the call is.
No call yet.
On the defense, I believe.
Yeah, the penalty looks like it's going to be on the defense. I believe it's neutral zone infraction. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty for that Millbrook defense.
Millbrook fan section does not agree.
Is not happy about that, but they are loud and they are pumped about this game.
So neutral zone infraction, just a quick rules reminder if you're not too familiar with football. What is a neutral zone infraction?
Pretty much it's when, so in between the offensive line and defensive line before a play, there's going to be something called the neutral zone. Basically, you can't be in the neutral zone before the play. And it's more or less the defender jumped towards that neutral zone, was in that neutral zone before the play, and that's where that penalty comes from.
Similar to a false start, but on the defensive side.
Pretty much, yeah, or an offsides call. Very similar play there.
So Forman running the football again with Zerblis once again, and he'll pick up about maybe 3 or 4.
It's just more running the football. They're trying to tire this Millbrook defense out, but this Millbrook team is very, very, very happy. They've got a lot of energy. They're up big. So I think at some point Forman's going to have to throw the football if they want to get back in this game.
I totally agree. I think, but it's tough. You've got a fast secondary on the Millbrook team. You've got a pretty big defensive line.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tough. It's not even the secondary that's super fast that concerns me, because if the secondary is fast and the linebackers are slow, you can pick up 8, 9, 10 yards in that short to intermediate passing game looking towards the outside of the field. But the linebackers are really fast. They're athletic guys. And I think that's really where the trouble of this Forman team is coming from, is because these linebackers are doing a really good job.
Outside,
these linebackers are doing a really good job.
And it'll go to Carbone, who goes to the outside. He will pick up the first down.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a completely illegal block by 51. Shoved the Millbrook linebacker into the ground through the back. Don't know if that's fully legal there.
Aiden Solari with a little bit of a questionable block on the edge.
That was a little bit questionable, but ref missed it. It is what it is.
So they'll pick up the first down. But, you talk about 2 different kinds of running backs. Zerblis and Carbone, pretty similar, big guys. And then, Cadu and the Millbrook running backs are pretty small but fast.
Yeah, a little bit smaller. I wouldn't necessarily call Nolan Cadu small.
And they'll go for the flea flicker to Carbone on the outside, and he's taken down by Colangelo. They'll get about 5, but
and watching this Millbrook defense, you just see the speed of this defense. I mean, they're fast, especially in relation to this Forman offense that really just wants to run the ball. They want to ground and pound, really run the ball up the middle, run the ball to the outside, not do too much else. But they're doing what they can, and it's not a lot right now, because I think just the speed and the athleticism of this Millbrook defense is really getting to them.
They are pushing down the field, so not like they're doing nothing, but definitely tough against a good defense like this.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see what their play call is here. It looks like probably it's going to be another run, as another heavy formation.
Once again, Carbone up in the backfield and heavy on the line. Millbrook showing blitz in the nickel. And to the outside.
Well, the big man can move.
Zerbelis with some wheels now getting to the outside for a gain of just a couple.
He's getting up there in carries, probably 6 or 7, maybe 8 carries at this point now. I feel like you've been saying his name quite a bit in tonight's game, but he hasn't been necessarily popping off for those big gains. That's been much more of the running back, but as a fullback, he's done a really good job, just
grinding down those plays, and really just picking up those yards that he needs to pick up. So he did get the first down there. So it'll be about 1st and 10 from maybe the 30 or so for this Forman offense. Once again, looks like they're going with the run. They've got 2 in the backfield. The flick to Carbone on the outside, finding a hole. He'll get 5 yards there. And I think that was one of those plays where Forman actually did a really good job blocking. I liked how their offensive line got out there and got in front of that play. And were really able to block in front and pick up 4 or 5, 6 yards on the ground for Forman. I thought that offensive line did a pretty good job on that play there. And something that's interesting is they've gone with a lot of tosses to the outside. They're not really running up the middle. Yeah, and I think you almost have to run to the outside, but in between the tackles to beat this Millbrook team. And the reason for that is pretty simple. The linebackers are fast. They can get to the outside really quickly, so running to the outside isn't actually going to give you anything. Running through the middle isn't going to give you anything because you've got those bigger bodies like Jason Weiss and Gabe Gerson and Johnny Riggolino trying to clog up that middle. But if you're running in between the tackles, so they go for the flick once again. Right there, you see the Millbrook defense is fast. They'll make the tackle almost immediately. Almost what you got to do is you got to run right or left, but behind the right or left tackle. That's where they're going to find the most success, I think, running the football. So Millbrook. Forman will take a loss of yardage there, maybe about a loss of 1 or so. So you trade on the outside. You trade space for length. You got to run further. Maybe you do have a little bit more space. Yeah. But once again, that space can close really quickly, especially against a pretty quick defense in Millbrook. DiRocco, you talked about him, saw some of his warm-up throws. You weren't totally convinced in his performance, but I agree with you. I think Forman has to change up the offense here if they don't score on this drive. Yeah, at some point. And that'll be a sack there for Nolan. No, it's like a double flea flicker they tried, but I think the fullback was ruled down before that could end up happening. But I mean, wow, this moment defense wants to they want to get out of it in a hurry. They want to move. Well, and something Coach Boxway loves to emphasize is 3 and out. And you can tell this defense believes in 3 and out. Absolutely. This is a team that wants to get off the field. That's one of their main defensive philosophies right there for Millbrook. And that's something that they've done really well all season. Especially in those first 2 games. Didn't do it so much against Holderness, but in those first 2 games against Harvey and Hebron, they were able to get off the field pretty quickly. And that was something that, honestly, by running the football a lot, this is going to be a 4th down play, 4th and long, but they kind of got to go for it when you're down by this much. They might have called a timeout here. I think they actually did probably want to talk about some things. So Forman will take the timeout. So how about, we've talked about Millbrook coaching staff, now how about we talk about some Forman coaching staff? Yeah, absolutely. They've actually got a pretty interesting coaching staff. They're coached by 2 assistant head coaches. They're like co-head coaches. One of them, Coach Vecchiarelli, she grew up surrounded by football.
and her dad was actually a football coach in high school and at the college level. Something really interesting with her, she actually interned with the New England Patriots a few years back, and she served as a scouting reporter for her college football team at Williams College. Their other head coach, Coach Harrington, he played 4 years of football as a defensive end at Bates College, and in his senior season, he was a captain. So some of that, being around football, both for both their head coaches.
Man, I'm jealous. I'm sure he's used to the cold coming from Maine. It's cold down here, I tell you. On this.
Oh yeah, it's windy, it's cold, but people are happy. Millbrook's up big, and kids are loving it.
Well, something interesting that we have to highlight scientifically is, it's cold, we're complaining, but also the football doesn't travel as far.
Football doesn't travel as far, and everything is going to be magnified in the hits. Everything's going to be harder. You have to go. I mean, it's cold. It's going to be hard to hit.
DiRocco falling back, launching deep, and that's intercepted by Matt Sardo. Oh, but he drops it. Still, either way, great coverage.
Yeah, really good coverage. Really good coverage, honestly, by Mac Elliott, taking the wide receiver out of the play and allowing for Sardo, the free safety, to come in and make a play on the football. Didn't bring it in, but that's kind of that game where I'm not super comfortable with, Forman's quarterback throwing the ball downfield. That wobbly ball, really nowhere near where it had to be. Needed to throw it more to the outside and a little bit longer, maybe by 5 or 6 yards, to really have a chance at that catch.
Well, and it seemed like there was just triple coverage in the deep safety there for Millbrook. So
yeah, it seems like Millbrook is playing with two more players. It's that simple. It seems like they're simply playing with more players. They have been absolutely dominant in today's game. And Millbrook offense out here now. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I feel like everything they've done is touched to gold. Running the football with Mac Elliott. They were pretty productive running the football in the last 2-point conversion with no one could do. Matt Starters look really good. Freddie Hamilton across the formation. Maybe trying to get Ethan Kessler involved, as it looks like they're going to have trips to the right.
Yep, they've got Crystal, Kessler, and Sardo out on that right side. Kadu is in the backfield with Elliott.
And it looks like Forman's going to bring the blitz here. If you're Mac Elliott, you got to get the ball out really quickly.
Pass rush coming. Elliott will go to his feet, and he breaks a couple tackles, breaks some more, gets through, going all the way. How about that, Mac Elliott on the ground for another touchdown? That's his third of the game.
Oh my God, Mac Elliott is going insane. But I think that's actually going to be called back, and it's going to be a hold on the offense. Wow, bringing that back.
What a shame, but that explains the mega hole up the middle of the field.
That probably does explain the mega hole. I think it might have gotten the part of the face mask. That's what I saw the sign from Coach Botchway. But hey, Mac Elliott's looking explosive right now. Love that little 1-2 cut move he made. Little hesitation, allowing the defense to get past him and then accelerate through. Shame it got called back, but hey. Really good to see still signs of life for this Millbrook offense. They want to put up more points. They want to put up 60 against this team.
Signs of life. This is the healthiest Millbrook offense I've seen in a long time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Definitely better than a few weeks ago against Holderness.
So face mask brings him back 10 yards.
Yeah. And that's basically, you can't grab the face mask. It's really that simple. As soon as you grab the face mask, pull the helmet in all sorts of ways. Obviously, a really dangerous play. So that's why that was called there.
So it'll be replay first down right on that face mask call. So it'll be 1st and 20 from the Millbrook, that 20-yard line.
Similar formation here, trips to the right, where you've got those 3 receivers towards the right side of that formation.
And once again, Forman playing zone coverage now. Elliott will opt to throw this time, finding Crystal up the middle for a good game of about 10.
That ball was a little bit underthrown there, but doesn't matter. We're still able to come in and corral it. Really good job by Crystal, just making sure that he got a body behind his ball rather than the ground behind his ball, making sure he can bring that in for the catch. But overall, once again, that crossing route. If Millbrook's not going deep downfield, which they tried a little bit earlier with Matt Sarda, they want to go across the formation because as that Forman defense, slants, anything towards the middle of the field.
And they'll run the football outside, gain of just a couple yards. So it'll be about 3rd and just long, maybe about 3rd and 6.
And to be honest, this has been a pretty simple passing game from this Millbrook offense. Outside of that first real play to Matt Sarda, start of that deep shot. It's been a lot of slants across the middle. We saw Freddie Hamilton, we saw Eli Crystal on 2 plays ago, and we've seen a lot of bubble screens. This time it was Ethan Kessler, but Sardo's got involved in those bubble screens too. So really just distributing the ball, but I'd like to see a run here maybe.
And Kadu with the run, going to the outside, breaking tackles, and finally tackled down about the 35. So they get the first down. On those last few plays, they keep running triples to the right. So I don't know if that's a head fake or...
It's a few things. It gets the defense in a position that's not exactly desirable for them. They're unbalanced. Because what they've got to do is they've got to bring 3 guys to cover those players. They absolutely have to do that. And what that does is, on a running play like that, it leaves everything open on the left side of the field because there's no defense on the left side of the field other than the linebackers and
quick throw to Sardo,
the defensive line. So what it does...
And hit with juke there, little spin move for a gain of about 7 yards.
So playing trips to the right is just going to give you more matchups and more holes for your offense to
Gotcha. So Matt Sardo just tearing up this Forman defense.
Yeah, if my fantasy team for Millbrook right now, it'd be Immaculate at quarterback. He's probably got me like 45 points at this point. Matt Sardo wide receiver. He's clearly got me 25, and I'm winning my week for fantasy this week.
I mean, Matt Sardo, in one game, it's over.
It's over.
So Jason Weiss, some of the unsung heroes is this offensive line too. They are huge on the block.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job.
And Elliott will step forward, launching downfield. Kessler can't quite get there.
A little too much air under that one. Immaculate got excited, wanted to take the deep shot, saw that Kessler has beaten his man. But a guy I want to notice on that play, really good blocking at the right tackle position there from Johnny Rigalino. Really liked what he was able to do, just keeping that stable base, keeping everyone in front of him, and pushing back that defensive line. Just textbook blocking, really textbook blocking, making sure that defense could get nowhere near Immaculate. Immaculate had time in the pocket, he stepped up in the pocket, threw one deeper downfield, wasn't caught, put a little too much air under it, but overall, really, really good blocking there by that offensive line. He has all the time in the world.
And so when we talk about blocking and keeping in front, once that defensive end or defensive tackle or linebacker gets by you, you're out to maybe a hold or, a deep pass rush and maybe a sack.
As an offensive lineman, you never want to be caught off balance. As soon as you're caught off balance, something's gone wrong. Something's gone horribly wrong. So really good job there by Rigalino. Just, fundamental football. That's what Coach Boschway really wants to breed in a way.
Crystal out to the right, Sardo to the left. Elliott will run it himself instead. Going, finally tackled down about the 12-yard line. So he gets a gain of about 18.
Yeah, hey, when you can run the football this effectively, it's going to be very big for your offense because the defense is always going to be expecting it. Look at the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson loves to run the football for them, and he's such a big-time weapon for them, and that opens everything else up on the offensive for them. When you can have a dual-threat guy at the quarterback position, it's super effective for you. Offenses all around the NFL are really picking up on that, and that's kind of where the game is going.
Heavy pass rush coming from Carbone. Crystal will reel it in on the...
He brought that one and got the feet in bounds. Used his body to ward off the defender. Really strong base, and by planting those feet and that throw perfect spot to the outside, only Crystal can get it, and that's a great pickup. Immaculate is playing a really, really good football game.
Precise, fast, strong. What more can you ask for in a quarterback?
And I'd say quick. They want to play with tempo. They want to play quick. They want to push the ball downfield. And Elliott's doing that with his legs and his arm.
So they'll hand it off to Kadu here, who goes to the left. He'll run it in for a touchdown. Nolan Kadu.
That's a great job by that left tackle over there, just setting the edge, making sure that the linebacker couldn't get in to where Kadu was trying to go, and making sure that he'd get in for the touchdown.
And they're going to go for 2. Shocking.
Now, I'm just curious to see when we see some other players for this offense and this defense for this Millbrook team. Obviously, this is Forman has struggled, and their team maybe not quite of the caliber of some of the teams Millbrook has played in the past. So at some point, I think Coach Boschway is definitely going to get some other players involved. It's just going to be interesting to see when that happens.
So Eli Crystal lined up on the right. Kadu will take the run again, getting in there for 2. Once again, simple run out to the left. Great blocking from Gersten, Weiss, and Rigalino on the line.
And this is almost as perfect a first half as you can get. You're up 40-0. There's 26 seconds left in the first half. There's barely been any mistakes from your end, and you've put up a 0 for the other team. Your defense is playing astoundingly well. Your offense is playing really well. And the only thing I'd say that I don't love about this Millbrook game so far is their run defense has been slightly above average. I'm sorry, it's not been elite like the rest of their game.
Yeah, I think we'll see this in a second, maybe if Forman's able to get a playoff, but the run defense has been their weakest part of the half. Forman with the return, they'll apt to take it to the ground and run, getting to the outside, tackled down about the 27.
And when Forman hasn't muffed those kickoffs, they've actually looked pretty effective and honestly kind of scary out of those kickoffs.
Spencer Bartone, he's got some legs. He
does have some legs. But I think, honestly, it's not even the leg. He's not super quick. Sure, he's quick. But I really like his vision. He's making the right reads, making the right cuts, and finding the right gaps to go and attack.
Yeah, it seems like he's going to the outside, the right side that has the space on it. So very important.
Yeah, absolutely. 16 seconds left in this very chilly first half.
So, if you're Forman, what do you do here? You've got maybe a play, maybe two.
If I were you, I would run a screen pass here. Try and get something that can pop off big, but not super or ridiculously risky. But don't throw the ball deep downfield. Don't try and do something stupid where your quarterback gets sacked. His quarterback gets chased off.
He is taken down, looking downfield to Carbone. It was a slant pass. Looking just heavy pressure from the Millbrook defense.
Yeah, and that's the defensive tackle number 21 there. I believe that's Jason Weiss.
Jason Weiss, yeah.
He's been fantastic. He's been all over the football field, for this Millbrook defense. I mean, he has gotten after this football defensively for them, and he's constantly in the backfield. It's almost as if that Forman quarterback has no time in the pocket to throw. He's just got no time. He's got to get rid of the ball as soon as possible every time because the Millbrook defense is right in his throat 24/7.
Yep, absolutely. So D-Rocco, first few attempts to pass the football. They've got 8 ticks left here in the first half. Carbone lined up on the outside again. What do you think they're doing here? Tight formation.
I mean, I think that they're just going to take it in, and they're going to say that's the end of the first half. Millbrook up 40-0. We'll be back with you in just a few moments as we try and warm up here.
Yeah. So don't go anywhere. Stick around. We'll be back with a little bit of halftime show and back for sure for the second half.
So we are back here to start the second half. We're going to have a Forman kickoff now as Millbrook is going to take the kickoff, hopefully, and get some yards as water bottles are flying. This wind is very, very, very strong here as that ball goes soaring out of bounds at around the 35-yard line. It's going to be a flag, though, because it did go out of bounds. So Millbrook will get a little bit better field position as they start this game off.
And during that halftime, we got the chance to speak with wide receiver coach and pass coordinator Jeffrey Livesey. And Adam Beck, what did he have to say about the first half?
He was really, really pumped up about this first half. He was really excited. Thought that they played really well, controlled the line of scrimmage, controlled the pace of play, and really did a lot. In the second half, they really want to emphasize getting some new players in, getting some younger guys in, and getting some more players involved. They start the second half with pretty much the starters out. But at the end of the day, they're going to try and get some new guys and some young players in for their first opportunity.
Yeah, just a few things to note. Our key lacrosse players, Matt Sardo, Nolan Cadu, and Ethan Kessler, were coming up big last half. So I want to see how they continue to be key players for our football team. And early in the last quarter, the Forman fan section came. So let's just see how that plays out.
Nolan Cadu for the running touchdown.
And that is massive.
Second touchdown of the game.
Wow, no one can do there. That's the speed to the house there. Now Millbrook's up 46-0. First play of the second half. That's just massive for them. I mean, that starts off just how they wanted to, getting more points on the board and just expanding that lead.
And shocking, they will go for 2 once again.
I want to see Tom with one of those kicks eventually.
I agree. Tom Kreutzer, maybe we see him put up a field goal. I don't know. At this pace, probably not. But They'll pass it into the tight end Freddie Hamilton for the 2-point conversion.
And there's another Freddie Hamilton 2-point conversion. Wow.
They like to go to him on that out route.
They do like to go with him. They do like to go with him there, trying to find that corner of the end zone just to move across the formation and try and find that open man. And hey, that's if he's the 2-point conversion killer, then let Milberg keep targeting him.
It's a little curl on the outside edge.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. We're going to have another kickoff here from Milberg. Seemingly happens every
couple
4 to 8
minutes.
minutes.
So if you're just joining in, about 9-10 minutes left in this third quarter. Milberg up 48-0 against Forman Academy. And the kick is great. It's muffed once again by Bartone, who will pick it up and run, gaining yards, breaking tackles, brought down about the 30-yard line.
And I think part of the success that Forman has had off those kick returns is almost the muff in a way. Because what happens when you muff the punt is it gives a tiny bit longer for that those blockers on the special teams to get some blocks. And if you watch a lot of Eagles games in the early 2010s, you know Deshaun Jackson was an absolute demon in the kick return game. You'll remember one game where he muffed a punt return against the New York Giants and then picked it up and ran it back to win the game on a game-ending touchdown. And part of the reason that play is so successful is because by muffing the punt, he allowed his guys to get back and block. So that's part of the reason why, as a fumble is picked up.
And
Jason
all the guys on Milberg saying it's on the other way, and the referee will agree. So Milberg will get the ball at about the Forman 30.
Jason Weiss is pumped. He came over to the sideline very, very happy as that Milberg starting offense is once again right back out there. Now we've got Taylor Swift playing on in the background.
Nothing like some Taylor Swift on your Friday night football game.
And there's the music cut as the play starts once again. Great song, by the way.
Mac Elliott taking the snap. He'll hand it off. Pump fake. And they'll go to the outside. Mac Elliott on his feet. Couple flags down. All the way to the end.
I have a feeling that one's coming back.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that one's coming back. Pretty sure that was a hold by Milberg is exactly what it was. Didn't see the number as not in a good position to do that. But I thought that...
yeah, so that will come back. Yeah, so that'll be a 5-yard penalty. Replay first down?
Yeah, they're going to replay first down here.
So it'll be 1st and 15 for this Milberg offense.
And Mac Elliott's a little frustrated about that one, not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, as he comes over the sideline for the play call. That's really tough. When you pick up yards on the ground and then, one of your offensive line guys pulls a hold, it can be frustrating. But you got to remember, you probably got that space on the field because he did that hold.
Yeah, and that happens a lot. But let's see how Milberg responds here. Obviously, they still have those starters in here.
Handoff to Kadu as he goes to the right, breaking a tackle, getting to the first down marker for a gain of 15. He's an animal.
Yeah, he's an animal. He's an athletic guy. He can really run the football to the outside. Doesn't quite have. I don't love him right up the middle personally, but to the outside, he's shown off that speed and that ability to get to the edge. A little bit of a burst off the line of scrimmage to really get to that edge and pick up some yards.
Well, something interesting Nola can do. He's actually a lacrosse player from Canada, coming to Milberg halfway through the year 2020, and this is his first season playing real football games. As they go with Rocco Boland on the outside as he's tackled down in the red zone.
And Rocco's a little bit of a smaller guy, still really, really big, don't get me wrong, but he's a little bit more quicker, a little bit more of a speed back rather than a true power guy. But he's built like a bullet. And he's quick to the edge, he's fast. He's going to get out and run, and it looks like he's going to get some time in here at running back. As we saw, Coach Livesey wanted to try and get some new guys in there. Coach Botford wanted to get some other players involved.
They go to the handoff for Boland again, flag down. Rocco Boland, he sort of reminds me of a Christian McCaffrey type player.
In a way, yes. He's definitely a guy who is a little bit shiftier, a little bit faster in open space. Really don't know too much about his hands and how will he catch the football, as it's going to be Millbrook moving back to flag on them. A little bit of a sloppy start to the second quarter, as the pace of play has been moving, which is good to see that clock continuing to tick. If you're Millbrook, if you're up this big, you really don't want the clock staying still.
Absolutely. So to highlight what Coach Livesey said at that half, Bolin getting his first few carries of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that I talked about with Coach Maliolo before the game. Really, he talked about how it was going to be a lot of no one could do, but they also want to get Rocco Bolin involved. So it's really good, with the lead this big, to try out some other players and trying to get some other guys involved, and try and get a guy like Rocco Bolin here at the running back.
And they'll go for a quick toss there, and that'll be a loss of yardage for Millbrook. James Dang with the quick carry. Not really much room for him to run there.
No, not too much. Just trying to have some sort of jet action across the formation, what he can run onto and try and get to the edge. There's not a lot of space there. Pretty good job by that Forman defensive front to shut down the angle and shut down really any potential of getting to the football.
Crystal and Sardo line up on opposite sides. Elliott will take the handoff himself and get to the ground running, and he'll sneak up to the 10-yard line out of bounds.
Love that block there by Rocco Bolin. Quick and out in space, not afraid to be that lead blocker for his quarterback. Really good to see.
As Livesey will shout some instructions over to Elliott. Got Boland in the backfield once again. Crystal out on a wing. As well as Trent Jones, the freshman, making an appearance on the field for the first time tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly what Coach Livesey talked about with us at halftime, trying to get some other players involved. And looks like he's going to get an opportunity here in really first real game action for him.
Elliott will take the snap. Looking maybe to throw, but over to the ground running once again. Slides into the pile.
Didn't quite make it there. I think he's down at the 1.5, maybe the 1 yard line. But good running effort there for him. He's running hard. He's running strong. He is going. He's going for it. He's really going for it. And this Millbrook fan section is going crazy. They're bumping to some music here. They're really going after it.
Absolutely. So yeah, engaging, and something else Lindsay talked about with engaging that core, as David Gerson will get a shot at the field here, as well as Trent Jones. So two freshmen is, not just getting the lower guys.
It's going to be a touchdown here. Yeah, there we go.
Touchdown.
A little bit of a run to the outside. I think that's Rocco Bolin. There we go.
In for the touchdown. So yeah, getting those younger guys engaged, but it's really more about training for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. It's trying to get those younger guys, especially when you have such a deep senior class and good junior players. You got, obviously, Jason Weiss, Freddie Hamilton, you've got Mac Elliott. All those guys really, really good players. Mostly juniors and seniors. They're being productive. You want to get some of those younger guys, those sophomores, Rocco Bolin, who's a sophomore. You want to give them some action to make sure that the future of your program is able to continue.
We're going for two, and Bolin will be stopped. I think that's the first stop by the Forman defense on a 2-point conversion tonight.
And I've kind of been thinking about it for a little bit. I think Rocco Bolin might give me a little bit more of a Matt Breida comparison.
Sure.
Much more of a little bit of a faster running back, but much more based on his speed. Very compact, not too big in comparison to other players. Don't get me wrong. Rocco Bolin's an absolute athletic weapon, but not super big in terms of football, but really quick to the outside and showcases his speed really well.
As we see the special teams come out from Millbrook, Tom out to take the kick once again. Tom Kreutzer pretty much, onside kick was a little bit of an interesting choice, but other than that, pretty much perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think you can say an onside kick is his fault at the end of the day. You look at percentages, in the NFL it's a little bit different because they've changed the rules to make onside kicks a little bit more difficult, but they only work about 7% of the time. And before that, I think it was around 16% of the time. Onside kicks are really tough.
Spencer Bartone to the outside, once again finding the space.
Yeah, absolutely. He's doing a really good job. talked about him a lot, but we've also seen a lot of him.
Sure.
Millbrook's had a lot of kickoffs, and that's just another opportunity for him to get some game time.
So, what's interesting, what differentiates a Spencer Bartone being a kick returner versus a wide receiver or running back?
So it's two things. One, it's obviously how fast you are and how well you can catch. That's what your kick returner should be. They're going to be faster guys that can catch the football. But more importantly, they're going to be guys who can see the field really well and see the holes in the defense. So a really fast running back is a solid kick returner.
Two in the backfield here.
A fast wide receiver is a pretty good kick returner. Those are really the traditional places you see. As the third quarter will wind down, Millbrook takes a commanding lead, 54-0 into the fourth quarter.
So Dylan Zerblis, getting a lot of carries, picking up some yards. It seems like they got a lot of bigger guys, tall guys, power guys on this Forman team. Not a lot of agility.
Yeah, no. It's much more of a power run game, power run scheme, rather than trying to use that elusiveness around the outside.
Sure. As we enter this fourth quarter, as we remind you, Millbrook is up 54-0 on this Forman team. And just an all-around effort, defense to offense for Millbrook tonight.
Oh yeah.
So if you're the Forman coach, it's fourth quarter, it's a 54-point lead. What are the types of things you're thinking about saying in practice the next day?
I want to look towards next week right now. I want to look towards your next game. You got to come out of here feeling good about something. They have not done a lot of good things in this game. They haven't really thrown the ball effectively. They haven't played very good defense. The one thing that I think that they've done well at times is run the football. So if you want to feel good going into next week about your running game, I want them to run the ball in this quarter. I want them to defense here. And trying to utilize that.
DiRocco going to the outside.
I believe that was Aaron John
Francois, the corner.
The corner, there you go. Sophomore out of New York City. Making the tackle there on the outside. Really good job just wrapping him up, pushing him outside. This clock will tick down to about 11 and a half minutes left in this fourth quarter.
And it looks like Forman, if you're Forman, you don't really want to throw the football at this point. You don't want to try that. It's too late in the game.
You want to be in this game where you feel productive about what you've done. And if the coach wants to run the ball really effectively, that's what he wants to set the tone going into next weekend. They've come out of this game doing something well, because at the end of the day, they haven't done a lot of good things in this game.
So DiRocco will line up right behind the center, and they'll have one in the backfield. It'll be Carbone who will get the toss. DiRocco getting a good block in. Carbone with some running room coming cross field. Got to tuck that football in, and he's taken down at just about the 20-yard line.
In football, you see a lot less of those plays in 11-man football where you bring back goes all the way to the right and then cuts back to the left. So it's much less likely just because there's more players on the field and there's less space. But in 8-man football, that space it closes and opens really, really quickly. So if you have all the linebackers and all the safeties moving to the right, moving to the left, I mean, you're going to see daylight. That's all you're going to see because there's no one else on that side of the field.
They'll go for the run up the middle this time, and it'll be Carbone with not Carbone. Forman with a couple yards. That was Zerblis, excuse me.
A little bit of a tough name there.
Yeah, this cold weather is freezing up my lips. It's a little tough. Nico Bravetti has joined the secondary in this fourth quarter here. He had that tackle on Carbone, and then he was doing a good job on that last play, clogging up the middle.
Yeah, junior guy, I believe from Katona, New York. He's a guy that definitely wants to get a little bit more action on the ball. Not one of the traditional starters, but definitely a culture guy for him.
DiRocco running the ball himself to the left, getting blocks in the end zone, touchdown.
And what allowed that for Forman was the run blocking. Their offensive line got out in front, really owned the defensive line, really got out in front and pushed the pace of play, and that's what they were able to do, and they scored a touchdown. So good job for them. And hey, if they want to go into next week running the football, that's really what we want to focus on. It really looked like they want to control the time of possession. possession, try and stay in this game for as long as they could by running the football. And that's what they're going to do in this fourth quarter. They're going to emphasize that in practice for the rest of this week.
And they're going to go for 2 again. Looks like they're going to try and run the football in. They've got 2 in the backfield. Zerbliss and Carbone lined up. But, Zerbliss took the snap and ran it in himself for 2.
He's been all over the football field. He's gotten at least 15 carries in this game. He's been really productive on the ground for them. He's been one of their better players. Bigger body, probably honestly maybe the biggest guy in this football game. That's not an offensive lineman. So, good for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's getting touches.
I think DeRocco's run the ball okay, thrown okay, but I think Zerbliss and Carbone have been the stars of this Forman team.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the running back and the fullback. Everything has been on the ground for them. Not a lot through the air. Run the football. They're doing a really good job.
So let's talk a little bit of technicalities. What's the difference between a running back and a fullback?
So a running back is going to traditionally be if you have a quarterback under center, and then you've got 2 guys behind your guy in front of the last guy's going to be quarterback, and that's going to be your bigger player. Isn't afraid of getting gritty yards. Where your running back is typically going to be your faster. It's going to be a squib kick. Gargano,
with a little bit of squib. And that's going to do a good job around
skilled. I can touch the ball a little bit better, play a little bit smaller in size. Really speed of the fullback. The fullback's much more of a blocking type player.
So if you've got Carbone and Zerbliss both on your squad, who are you putting where?
So I'm putting Zerbliss at the fullback position. I think the Forman coach has got that completely right. He's much more. He doesn't quite have the speed that Carbone has. Carbone has really shown that. He doesn't have great speed, but he's probably got pretty good speed and got pretty good vision. He's carried this Forman team on his back. But Zerbliss has done a really good job as a blocker, and that's why I think that's the reason he's at a fullback position, especially because he's a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, and not as quick.
And Millbrook will take over here. Handoff going to Bolin, tries to stiff arm. He does get the stiff arm off and just keeps chugging through. What a freight train, man.
Yeah, maybe not Matt Breida. maybe Matt Breida on steroids. But he's definitely got the power.
So yeah, Rocco Bolin picking up just shy of the first down. So he'll pick up about 8 on that carry. They've changed up the formation here. Millbrook now with Jason Weiss not on the field. So they've got Jack Rexhouse playing center now instead of Jason Weiss. So again, emphasizing those new guys. They've also got Xander Yanchino up on that offensive line, playing offensive tackle. Blitz coming from Carbone. Carry to the outside, tackled down. They'll get the first down though.
Yeah, it's good to see that those guys are doing a good job. To some of those newer players, and I like to see Aaron Jean-Francois out there at wide receiver right now. Rocco Bolin at the running back position, and obviously Mac Elliott no longer in the game, but we do have
David Gersten is now, I guess, the third string quarterback as James Beckman, the second string, has broken collarbone.
It's good to see him get some reps. That snap's a little bit high.
They'll pass it off to Boland, who will take on the run, breaking tackles, getting down to the 25.
Yeah, Rocco Bolin, excuse the Matt Breida comparison, a lot more physical than Matt Breida, but he likes to get to the outside, likes to use the speed, but he's also got some pop to him. He wants to run through people. I love that about his game. As this clock continues to tick, with just about 2:40 left in this fourth quarter, as Millbrook is up big, and they're having a really good time tonight.
Yeah, Millbrook, just a great night all around. I think, obviously, Matt Sardo, highlight. Who else you got?
Definitely Mac Elliott. I mean, I can't even count how many touchdowns this man had tonight. But it's also I thought Freddie Hamilton had a good game. Ethan Kessler played some good minutes. As that's
the football comes out, and Bravetti does a good job of diving on that football, as it must have just slipped out.
Yeah, security. As we near 2 minutes left in this game here, as we're just trying to wind it down, trying to add as many more points as they can. But you can just see those starters down there on the bench just loving life. They're talking to each other, talking about their big plays of the night, and really just getting excited.
So David Gerson taking a couple snaps here. Brevetti was the running back on that last play. We're now going to see Nate Leorno make his debut in the backfield.
Yeah, good to see just more younger guys get some opportunities. But I really love the play of Rocco Boland.
And that pitch is a little bit high. Leorno doing a good job of splitting the D. And he'll get to the outside. A little bit of a stiff arm there, man. And breaking tackles going, and he's out of bounds right about the 7-yard line. But a great run.
Oh, absolutely. Almost had no blocking in front of him, just used the speed. I mean, it looked like a broken play. It was a bad toss to start with, but he was able to corral it and use that speed and explosion to get to the outside and then just go off. Just break a few tackles and just make a good play.
Dare I say Derrick Henry type? I mean, he just plowed right through that defense. Not quite there, but looked a little bit like Derrick Henry-esque to me.
Yeah, definitely a powerful run.
Gerson will take that snap again. They'll go for the handoff to Leorno once again as he charges in there about the 2-3 yard line.
Flag is dropped on the field. Let's see who it's going to be on.
Waiting for the call from the referee. And
on Middleburg, I believe, as they are backing up. Maybe an illegal block.
So yeah, they'll back it up. Looks to be a 10-yard penalty. So David Gerson back out there at quarterback with Nate Leorno lined up in the backfield with him. Gerson will run it himself, finding a hole there, getting met there at the 10, and just tackled down.
And that's pretty much more or less going to end it. I mean, we got 10 seconds left. Let's see if Middleburg gets another playoff. I don't think they're gonna. So they choose to kneel.
And interesting about that, like Gargano was the man who got the tackle for Forman. He's also the kicker, so playing all over the place. Gerson will just fall on the football, and that will be game for Millbrook. A great win, 54-8, your final score for Millbrook. Give me your top 3 Millbrook players and top 3 Forman players.
Okay, for me, absolutely for Millbrook, it's got to be Mac Elliott, number 1. I thought he played a fantastic game throwing the football, running the ball. This Millbrook crowd is getting very happy. They're excited. Mac Elliott played well. Of course, Sardo played really well too. Really spreading the field out. Had a massive 71-yard touchdown that I thought really got this team out of the gates. But more importantly, I thought Nolan could do too. Defensively, was really solid in the linebacking core. But more importantly, as a running back, I thought he played well. I thought signs from Rocco Boland in the second half were really good too. Those were the guys that really focused on for Millbrook. And then for Forman, it's their running back and their fullback.
Yeah, Zerblis and Carbone, they were just chugging. Although I think Duraco also is willing to highlight.
Yeah, definitely. I thought that, although he struggled to throw the football and really struggled to move the offense, he did what he could do. This Millbrook defense is pretty good, and I thought that him out of the pocket using his legs was sometimes successful. Running the game, though, I thought that's where Forman really shined, and that's really the only thing that they did well in this game. I thought that Carbone was really explosive, and Zerblis did a good job with that power running game.
So if you're Millbrook looking ahead to your next matchup, whether it's next week, what do you think about coming out of this game, things to work on?
Yeah, for me, of course you're never going to know that you're going to win. Out of most games, this was a game that was winnable for them, definitely compared to last week. And at the end of the day, I thought that the main takeaway for me is that you got to keep running the ball with Mac Elliott, and you got to keep using Sardo in open space. Because if they're finding their playmakers, they found their playmakers using those crossing routes. Offensively, I thought they were really good. Defensively, just tightening up on stopping the football via the run game. Really, the passing game wasn't too much of that Forman offense. But overall, I thought Millbrook played well, and I think that they just got to keep that momentum coming into next week, especially after losing the last game against Holderness.
And as always, thank you for tuning in. It has been a pleasure. 54-8, your final score. Millbrook, Forman, Friday night under the lights. I'm Charlie K, joined by Adam Beck and JD Whiting. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.